Hello, it's Adam here from guile.com. Welcome to a video preview with Lyle Carr. Hello, Lyle, you alright?
Hi, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How are you today?
I'm good, mate. We don't get you on too many of these. I don't know why. We can start the change of that from now because you have been playing the sequel to a game that came out quite a while ago, actually. You've been playing Aragami 2, right? Which is due out in September this year. It's weird because the original was out like in 2016. So it's been 5 odd years. I guess let's just get into it. What have you played of it so far, and what do you think? Really, I suppose.
Okay, so I had access to the first 12 missions, I think, so it's quite a decent chunk of game. It sort of took about 2.5, 3 hours to sort of get into, really. But yeah, started out, like, if you played the first game, you're probably kind of familiar, but you play as a ninja who has sort of shadow magic, I guess you'd sort of call it. So it's your standard kind of stealth game, but then the twist is sort of you can teleport it sort of between different places as a dash. You get sort of special powers, and yeah, you just sort of go from mission to mission with different objectives, trying to be as sneaky as possible, or maybe if you are like me and not very good at stealth games, killing an awful lot of people.
Hey, Adam from guile.com here. Sorry to interrupt, but if you wouldn't mind just hitting the big old subscribe button and maybe the bell to notify you of every new video we release, we'd be really grateful. Thank you so much and enjoy the video. I think that's what put me off the first one because, you know, again, you've played it, not me, but this does seem like it's a stealth game, right? That is the like how if you mess up, how punished are you for it? So again, this is a preview, so like the game's not final, blah blah blah. But how do you know if you mess up? What's the score there?
I mean, if you mess up, you're either going to die quite badly because a lot of enemies will swarm you at once, or you're going to run away, and then sort of once you get away, everything's kind of reset to a sort of decent level.
Okay.
Yeah, you sort of, there's like there might be a few more guards that are placed in a few places, usually more sort of the places where you've already dispatched guards, but really it's not the most punishing. But I'd say maybe the biggest issue is if you die, there aren't checkpoints in the missions. So
Right.
they're sort of between, I mean, the early missions are maybe 5-10 minutes long. Some of the later ones I've done are more like 20 minutes, and there are some times where I've failed quite close to the end, and that was where I had my most frustrating moments, I'd say, with the game.
Because you can't even just go back a checkpoint. It's like if you... Right, I see what you mean. So you're sort of... The mess you've made, you're kind of stuck in the mess you've made, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. If you're either stuck in the mess you've made, or and then you just have to reset, start again as if you're playing the mission for the first time, or you'll die and you'll have to do that anyway.
Right. Because what I sort of, obviously art style aside, because it doesn't look like the game I'm about to compare to, but I wondered if this would be something that, there are people that, for example, with Assassin's Creed now, feel like that is now less an Assassin's game and more of a action adventure, third person. And to be honest with you, I'd probably agree, but it doesn't bother me, if you know what I mean. I enjoy them for what they are now. But there are people who miss that kind of, stalking your prey kind of thing. And like, do you think this is that sort of... That's what it's going for, almost? It's third person, you hide in the grass,
Yeah, I think it's definitely got sort of elements of that. I also think it's kind of got, because of the different powers, it does feel like there's a little bit of sort of Dishonored in there as well, where
Okay.
you'll be using your powers to make things work. You'll maybe pick powers that are more suited to your play style. Like there are some powers that are directly connected to like actually getting into combat, which is sort of a very kind of like deliberately paced counter attack sort of type situation, where if you have more than one enemy against you, it'll probably go quite badly. But if you'd rather sneak around, you can get powers like there's a power called Whisper that means that sort of is you making a noise to attract people over. There's one where you can sort of make an enemy blind and deaf for about sort of 10 seconds while you sneak about. You can turn invisible. And then as you go sort of further into the game, there's quite a few that obviously I couldn't unlock in this preview because they were kind of late game ones, but the things like teleporting to kill, and anytime you kill an enemy, the nearest enemy to them dies as well, that I saw in the skill tree that all looked quite interesting, really.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I had it in my head this was coming to all formats, but like looking on the website listings now, I can only see PS4, 5, Series X, S, blah blah blah, Windows. It's not for Switch, and I had it in my head that it was, but obviously not. I mean, like you played on PC.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess to sort of finish up, like overall feelings so far in a preview sense.
In a preview sense, I mean, I definitely enjoyed it. It feels sort of like almost like a more old school stealth game. It reminded me, and obviously the ninja theme helps this, but it reminded me of like the Tenchu games.
I was just gonna say Tenchu. I was just gonna say you're about to say Tenchu, and you did, yeah. Okay.
So like it's fun. It's good to sort of have this like quite traditional. It's not sort of too sort of serious. Like there'll be times where like you make big blood splatters anytime you kill an enemy, and no one ever notices them, which is it's quite amusing. There are a few things where it's not so uber real that you're detected immediately, and yeah, I had a good time. The checkpoint thing was kind of hard to swallow, but I know in the full release as well that obviously I wasn't able to do this, but I know they're planning up to 3-player local online co-op even,
cool.
And I think that could be a lot of fun. I mean, if one of you dies, you're sort of getting to watch how the others sneak around and make the situation work for you and stuff. Like, I think that's an interesting idea, and you don't really get a lot of like teamwork stealth really in video games.
I can only think of Assassin's Creed Unity, and we all know how that ended. Well, it ended up well, but it started out not so well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's sort of more formal thoughts on godisageek.com where you can read what Lyle thinks in a more formal way. This is just us chatting and talking about the game and showing you a bit of footage. And if you did enjoy it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and maybe a thumbs up, maybe even the bell button, so you don't miss another video just like this. And if you really enjoyed it, go to patreon.com/godisageek, where you might find some content you like there exclusive to people who are subscribers. So thank you, Lyle, for your time.
No problem at all.
And everyone else, we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.